went to a Bible study that was talking about the Matthew 5 Beatitudes, and like one of the first ones was, "Blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth." And I always attributed it to blessed are the poor, because when you realize you don't lean on the earth and people to give you your stability, you're able to constantly see how God provides for you when you had no other options. So it just constantly builds your faith, where you'll inherit the earth, because you can inherit the kingdom's wealth by not relying on the earthly wealth. When you finally begin to get success, you're always so humbled because you know what it's like to trust and rely on God's provision, right? But then I just passed some homeless people. I would imagine they were homeless. It's dark. I just noticed them talking to each other at a corner, and it looked like, as I was driving, it looked like one was giving another one something, whether it be food, money, something that they had, right, to help the other person. And it made me think of the Beatitude. And I thought, the poor are often the ones who will give to another person when they have nothing else in their own pockets. But they're often the ones who will help others who are in need more than people who have more, because they know what it's like to have nothing, because they too have nothing. And I've seen this in other circumstances when it might not be homeless people on the street, but I don't really have enough to have paycheck to paycheck right now. But I give from my overflow all the time, whether it be helping out a family in need, whether it be spending $50 on giving someone else Christmas gifts for their family, because I want to help them, because I know what it's like to not have anything. And so I give from my overflow, and I just sacrifice what I would have given to myself had I kept that, just as homeless people do. And another good example is someone's family, a single mom. She needs help more than anything, but she knows that her daughter is low on cash. So she gives her daughter $700 because she knows her daughter needs that for her kids. Yet maybe if she's married and her husband and his family is super rich, they say, well, you need to figure it out because you need to earn your hard money. They don't give anything to help out a family, not because they've ever been lazy or not had work ethic, but because they had to work hard for their money and they want to install that value into their child, but they allow their child and their grandchildren to not know where they're going to get their food because times are tough on a family with one income right now. Do you see what I mean? The single mother who's a grandmother gave from her cup of $700, even though she only had an extra $700. She said, pay me back when you can, because I don't have that as extra, but I'm going to give it to you. Anytime you need something, I'm going to give it to you. Yet the family who had more than enough, where they don't even have to look at their bank account when they go to the grocery store, said, no, figure out how you're going to get food on the table for your own children. See, blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth, in my opinion, is because when you go with nothing, you see those with nothing way more for their circumstances, and you see them for way more than figure it out on your own. You know that you could have nothing in a matter of a split second. Everything that you've acquired, your wealth, your possessions on this earth, could be taken from you in a split second. And then when it's taken from you, what will you do? You just never know how God can suddenly change your circumstances, right? And if you don't understand what it's like to rely and understand that God's when things look like they're taken away, it's being placed in the right spaces for you. You're going to be fine. God will give you the provision. Even though the job you have doesn't make enough, I'm going to give you more opportunities that will find you. And here's an extra passive income from TikTok sales. Here's passive income from being hired as a freelancer, and you could go do extra stuff on the side of your job, and you're not overwhelmed because you're in alignment. And I'm still covering the extra that you needed, even though you don't know where it's going to come from every month. You have faith that it will be here, because you have faith that I will not let you go without. Blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth, because the poor people will always give from their empty cup to another poor person. A homeless person will give someone food. Even if they say they're hungry, they're going to give some of their food to them. How many times do we see that? Blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth. When you understand how to love one another when you're poor, when you understand how to give when you have nothing, it allows your mindset to be humbled when you have everything, because you remember where it all came from and you remember where you've been, and therefore you have the ability to be humble and not become prideful and not become someone who stands on their own and their identity is what they built for themselves. When you have everything and coming from nothing, and you understand where everything comes from is the Lord, your identity remains thankful to God for his blessings here on earth. Blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the earth. And I just think that's beautiful. I can't wait when I have an overflowing cup, because the lessons I have learned on how to love people, especially the people who never get seen or noticed, that they need loved too, the people who are in the middle, the people who look like they should be doing just fine. I cannot wait to do what others have done for me year after year. You know, God uses other people to bring forth your blessings. So don't squander your blessings when someone offers to buy you a cup of coffee. Don't squander your blessings when someone offers to pay something that might seem outrageous for you. God puts it on people's hearts to do something for you because it's his way of giving you blessings, and it's his way of speaking to them to teach them to remember to stay humble on where they got their things, because everything that you give, you'll receive tenfold, right? When you remember not to hold on to your wealth because it's mine, and what will happen if I give it away? Well, if you give it away in the faith that God said to do it, he returns it tenfold every time. You see that when you have nothing the most. And so God will remind people who have an overflowing cup who to give to, because he puts it on their heart, just as he put it on the heart of the king to take in Esther, and just as he put it in the hearts of so many people, the Pharaoh to appoint the guy, the brother that was in jail. I can't think of his name right now, Joseph. He puts his intentions in people's hearts to bless you, because they have their blessings by remaining poor and humble from the earth. Therefore, they inherit the kingdom's blessings. They don't hold on to the earth's materials because they know where the kingdom comes from. God puts it on people's hearts to bless you. Hey, would you like to do some videography work for me? Here's an extra $600 this month. I needed that so bad. Hey, I'm going to give you $100 for doing this for me. I needed $100. My bank account was negative $100 exactly. How many times has God shown up for you by using other people to show up for you as well, by putting it on their hearts? So don't squander God's blessings, because it's allowing people to remain humbled when they have more. It's allowing people to remain in the right mindset when they have more. It allows them to follow the Beatitude they learned in Matthew 5. And it allows you to start stepping into your abundance, because you are consistently being shown how God is your provider, not the earth. So that when you have an overflowing cup, you too will have it put on your heart to bless the other people that God says to bless as they are on their own journeys. Okay, love you guys.